What does it mean to come into your own? What does that phrase actually mean? Robert Frost has a title of his poem that I did a close reading on just today called Into My Own. And that phrase got me to thinking, man. That phrase got me thinking a lot about what in the world does that mean? Does it mean that somebody comes to an understanding of who they are? Does it mean that someone has self-knowledge, self-awareness? Does it mean that someone has self-love? What does it mean for someone to come into their own? I think that as many definitions as there are for that meaning that there are, like I don't think that there's a wrong way of answering that. But I think that in the poem written by Robert Frost, which I analyzed, I'll put a link for that analysis in the description. But what he concluded at the very end was that the individual has this level of certainty for what they think. They think and feel that what they think and feel is true, right? So they have this feeling that they are capable of fully coming into their own thoughts and feelings, into your own. Right? You gotta. How many people do you know who are like that? How many people do you know who have come into their own? Is it a large list? Is it a small list? It seems to me that those individuals who have come into their own pop up in my mind just like that. Like in my mind, I just boom, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt what coming into my own looks like as it relates to their lives. These individuals who come up in my mind, two individuals in particular, they come up in my mind immediately, and they just remind me of individuals who are rocks of human beings. Like they have this sense that they know who they are. Like if they say that they're going to do something, they do it. If they say they're not going to do something, they don't do it. Wherever they say they're going to be, they're there at that time that they said that they would be there. Like there's just a sense, and the individuals who I know, they take care of other people. Right? When other people have come encounter needs, they're there. To some capacity or another, they're there. Individuals who have come into their own. What does it mean for an individual to come into their own? Right? The other individual that I could think of that reminds me of the individual, like the example of a person who's come to their own. This individual was an individual that was the hub for the entire family. Right? No, once that person was gone, there were no family functions. Right? Once that person was gone, the hub. Everybody else are the spokes in that family, but this person was the hub. This person, and this person didn't even set them all up, but just this person's presence was the glue. Why? Because this person came into their own, and everyone wanted to be around this individual, and this individual was the glue for all the other relationships that existed, because that individual came into their own, and that shows what the results are of an individual who comes into their own. If you want to have people who are stuck to you like glue, who gravitate to you, if you want to have some sort of influence on other people's lives, then come into your own. If you want to identify an individual who's come into their own, look around them and see how other people respond to them. If other people are acknowledging them and are stuck to them, they're gravitated to them, they have that kind of gravity that pulls people to them, that's an individual who's come into their own. What does it mean to you to be an individual that comes into your own? Right? What does it mean to be an individual that comes into your own? What does it look like? Are you an individual that has come into your own? Will you ever be, if you're not now, an individual that comes into your own? Will you be the kind of person who's able to be the same person as always, but at the same time, you have a sense of what's true to you in your heart, and you don't waver from it, man. That's cool, man. That's cool to be an individual like that, to be that unwavering soul, firmly planted in the midst of other souls, and function as sort of the gravity, the sun, to the other souls that orbit around it. Not because that's what you want, but because you've come into your own, and that's a result of coming into your own. Wow. So that's all I got on this one, man. Like, that Robert Frost poem, you gotta take a look at it. You gotta take a look at it. It's worth your time and attention. Once again, I'll put that in the description. I'll link that. I'll pin that in the comments. Is what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Pin it in the comments, and that's all I got. See you on the next one.